Okay, so like with the G code and the street code, um, all of that was able to work and was able to be applied because of accountability. You know, basically, I say that to say in the 80s and 90s era, when, you know, violence, drugs, and access to money became an avenue for, you know, African Americans in that community, um, it created environments of greed. And amongst that, you know, before that or like during that, everyone was equal, you know. So history books do tell you about, there's like, I've heard Killer Mike talk about a community of a wealthy black people that, you know, was able to stand with the white people, and I believe that was in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's like the history of how that happened. And everywhere else, you know, just on a balance of the black people were equal, meaning they knew where they stood in the world, and also, you know, as a community, we're together, we're fighting the same battle. But then, like I said, in the 80s and 90s, you know, money came and we was able to start to do different hustles and drugs and whatever. And it basically came down to a battle of morals, you know. Um, and then some people just really got lost. And back to the street code. Um, it's the non-snitching thing, which is like this whole hot topic right now. Um, Basically because of 6ix9ine. And back to what I said in the beginning, it's accountability. So a lot of people and men who were sentenced in the 90s and the 80s are a different breed and a different mentality and a different way of thinking than the people who have been getting locked up from 2000 and further. The reason being is, number one, technology. So the reality is there are cameras everywhere and they became prevalent in 2000. You know, we started off with the crazy camera phones on like Nokias and stuff of that nature, where stuff is just grainy, pixely. You know what I'm saying? Now we move to the era of social media. So not only are cameras around, now we as individuals, as citizens, are always recording, you know. So everything you do and how you move, there is no morals, balance, and appearance. I say that to say, um, truth be told, like in the 90s, like as a parent, as a man, you could go outside, do whatever dirt it is you doing, and come home to your family. Now, I say that to say, before all this technology, if you were a guy who hustled, you know what I'm saying? Um, when you left, there was no contact, you know what I'm saying? So your girl is at home hoping you come home safe. And when you come home, it's happy. Opposed to now, when you outside, I can know everything. So what you doing and why I don't add up? Well, if you ain't doing this, then why you not here with me? So the whole world is different, you know. So that's what I'm saying. It's about personas. I said that to say, just to put like an example on how it can be like black and white and how the mystery is out of things. In the 90s, you know, the time that you are together is cool because that's the time it is and it's together and it's cherished and it's moved as is. And then, you know, you only catching up with people when you see people to catch up with them. Now, social media, if I run into you, hey, how you doing? That that phrase for real is kind of hard to even use, and it just sounds like I'm saying it just to be nice because like if I really wanted to know how you're doing, I could follow you on social media. But then I feel like that's kind of weird because I mean why would I be in your personal business, you know? And it's just, I don't know, the levels of things is like really weird because it's like personal space and boundaries are so different, you know, and people don't have a perception of other people actually having them and not being able to be like realize that okay, you have a boundary. Do I want to know you? Am I trying to get to know you? Are we a stranger? Are we just in the same environment for a moment? You know what I'm saying? So like all of those things come into play when it comes with boundaries because it's like, am I trying to expand your boundaries? Am I trying to cross your boundaries, or did I bump your boundaries on accident and I didn't mean to? You know, like, so all of that with intention and motives is different. And back to the G code and street code, it's like when you have morals and values, you move in a certain way. This was a clear, concise understanding. It was called common sense because we all had a certain boundary level of common sense. And if you decided to step out that boundary, it was a representation of, okay, you're doing this, 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 or this. Because it was only so many, you know what I'm saying? We still have a main center point. But now there's so much to explore outside the boundaries that people don't realize like they outside the boundaries, and they just when they come across somebody who not out there playing like that and moving in those ways, it's like it's it's like a point of confusion, and it's like, oh yeah, you lost. You don't even remember where center is. So when center comes around, you can't recognize it. And some people's boundaries have been taken from them. So that's why I say interactions with people now is like really, really sticky, weird, and it's just like, where's your mind at right now? Like there is so much going on in the world, but then there's so much going on in arm's reach, you know? So it's like, where is your actual focus? And as things are moving around you, like what role are you playing, you know? So I don't know, like I just feel like a lot of people have money and no purpose, you know? And then basically sponsors and people like that don't mind investing in a person who has nothing to invest in, because they know that all this money and promotion they're going to give is still going to turn around and come right back into their company, you know? I don't know, like it's really hard to like try to come on camera and speak to you guys because there's already so many people speaking to you guys. There's already so much information out there. It's like to try to find that thing to censor, to bring back to like what's common sense, like to put everyone back on that same accord. Because like I said, everyone has, it's like, okay, you have, like, you know, you've been around people with similar boundaries as you, and styles that, like, once you've immersed in that world so much, you've forgotten about the world you come from, like, and literally that, because when we're all born and as a ball of innocence, and the boundaries are clear. The boundaries are clear. When people cross the boundaries with a newborn, it is clear. But the older you get, the more wider that boundary becomes, and what's socially accepted, and what meant, what was an intention, what was not intentional, what was accidental. All of those boundary examples I said in the beginning. But if you still looked at every individual person as that same being, that same baby, boundaries could be cool. But also within that, you still seeing and having your boundaries to see, so that person, which is not a baby, whether it be a toddler, whether it be a middle schooler or an adult, also has intentions to do things. So therefore, if you still have boundaries, your interactions are controlled, you know, and that's what's just so crazy to me. Like, when I see little kids outside walking by themselves, my mind immediately just goes to prayer. Like, when I see young children outside, I put protection over them. And because it just, it blows me, you know. And it's just, my bubble, my world has been safe. But I just feel it, it's getting tighter, you know. And the violence within our bubble, at first it was quarantined because there was reason behind the ration. Like I said, the community kept quiet because, yes, the community know what A, B, and C did. You know, truth be told, in the 90s and 80s, mothers knew when they laid their sons to rest. They knew. Now, mothers don't know. They know what they were involved in without knowing who and what and where. But in the 90s, you knew. And the world is just, it's different now. So I'm just saying, for the girls who aspire to go after these guys that have this certain level of aggression, and guys, when it comes to your aggression, I need y'all to find a way to channel it, because everything you guys are out there creating needs protection. Every female that's in your presence needs your protection. And if you're busy fighting with the other guy that's supposed to be protecting the women and children in your environment, how can you protect us when they come through? You know, I just need everybody to sit down and check in. If you're a pharmaceutical, check in with your patients. If you're a nurse, get your patients on their regimens, and that's it. Like, there's no fraternizing in the lunchroom. And right now I'm using a literal to talk metaphorically to the pharmaceuticals. So basically we're talking roles. As far as the doctors go, just check the patients, period. Give the diagnosis, make sure now the nurses got their duties, that's what you're supposed to be doing, and then that's it. Like I said, we not, the bars are closed. Like the extra socializing, that's it. Like, everybody, like I said, and the patients need their medicine. Other than that, if you ain't sick, no new clients, make what you got work, and everything else needs to fall in line. And like literally just that simple, because a lot of this stuff really just not making sense. It's really not adding up. With that, like I said, then comes our rehabilitational people. We need y'all to get together, put some money in houses together so we can get our black community rehabbed, period. That's the move that I want to do for the kids. Everybody got phones. Let's help an addict. Like, that's the movement. And we're going to start within your friends, families, and communities, period. Like, start there and learn. The younger you are, the more innocent you are. Go sit down. If you're an adult and you got kids, you need to take them to see their drug addicted relative and let that relative talk to them. And why? Because it's a person that's been through something and they willing to tell that story. And what's the better reality check than someone who's lived through it? So give your child that walking, living visual, and then therefore they'll give them the free will. Now you do what you do. You know that's a road, and you know this is one of the avenues it can go down. And let's everybody wake up, because I say that to say all y'all little outer girls who trying to let the world know what they got already, you know what I'm saying? That shit's not cute. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, it's so crazy because this Cinderella beautiful type world that everybody wish they could have. If you have a public school system, you guys could all be fucking Cinderella, and prom night could be y'all ball. You feel me? Y'all all supposed to be doing the dating phase. Y'all all supposed to be going through the phase to see if people really like you and personalities are really developing. But y'all out here fucking. That shit ain't even cute. I'm not gonna hold you. And for the girls and the boys who have been touched and wasn't supposed to be touched, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. But that does not mean in turn to keep doing it. And if it keeps happening to you, bro, that's what I'm saying. Y'all should be able to get help. And the world is not right now because people can't even develop. Y'all already stuck in sex, bro. Like, you know how many, a lot of y'all creativity is stalled out because y'all stuck on a sexual orgasm. When truth be told, life gives you so many different feelings and emotions of an orgasm that y'all haven't even gotten to experience because y'all stuck chasing this physical one. And it's like, that's why children aren't supposed to have sex because it stumps your creativity. It stumps your creativity. It stumps your creativity. It stumps your creativity. Until you've reached your niche, until you've actually found what really centers you and calms you and you have a place to go to, sex stumps your creativity. For athletes, no, because athletes know that's where their relief is. When they have sex, but they also have that rush in the game. That's a life rush. That's something that guys are allowed to tap into. That's one of their releases, and that's a physical world release. Guys really genuinely like to work out because just physically healthy, your body does naturally release. So that's just one of the reasons why y'all need to calm down. Like, y'all so worried about being cute. And the thing is, there are more broke, uneducated whores than there are successful ones. Now, just because you're pretty does not mean you're successful, does not mean you're well paid for, does not mean your children know who you are. They get to come home, see you every day. They're warm and they're not missing a meal. Because a lot of you females are creating children that you do not home, house, feed, take care, and love on a daily basis. You don't. And yes, it takes a village to raise a child, but you are not a part of that village. And a lot of you children are the testimonies of that, because it comes from generation. And that's why you do it to your children, because your mother did it to you. And it's sad. And it's the truth. And a lot of you boys know, because y'all remember that heartbreak. Y'all had to be the men of the house, and y'all know what's going on. But once again, a lot of you guys have been so removed from the beginning and boundaries because of what you've had to do, hadn't do to take care and to do certain things. I need our community to sit down and check in. Everybody, let's brush our teeth. Everybody, let's take a bath. Let's put on some nice clean clothes. Let's brush our hair and realize, hi, this is who we are. Let's get in some water, refresh, re-clean, reset, and wake up.